And at the moment, there's very few in Asia, and there's very few visiting Asia, and we want to get them to come here. And so, how can we do this?
I have several recommendations that I would like to make.
Certainly, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I have.
Just to help you. After that, we say why it is important. I have several recommendations to make.
Okay, I have some recommendations I'd like to make.
Please pay attention to my recommendations.
Okay, please pay attention to my recommendations, because the increase in the yachting coming and money that this will bring to the region will benefit all of us. And I think it's important for our futures as well as for yachting. Why Asia? Why will the yachts come here? Two reasons. The first is we've got, since the 2008 world crash, yachting around the world has been suffering, but the number of buyers from Asia has been increasing because the wealth is here, and these are the people that are buying the big yachts nowadays. But they're not bringing them to Asia because there's no support, there's no infrastructure for them here.
Let me give you some numbers.
I don't know.
Just throw some numbers.
Yeah,
let me give you some numbers.
Yeah.
In 2012, give the progression 12, 13, 14, and last year. Just throw some numbers.
Okay, in 2012, there were 300 yachts, super yachts sold, of which only 10 were to Asian buyers. Last year, the number had dropped to about 200 yachts.
But
over 50% of those were to Asian buyers. So that's the sort of numbers we're talking about.
So globally, the industry is shrinking.
Yeah, globally, industry is shrinking.
But
in Asia, it's on the increase.
Oh yeah,
we're going places.
Yes,
but the yachts are not coming here yet, and that's what we've got to solve. The other reason Asia, the yachts will come here, is a lot of the European, American-owned yachts, they're old families, they've been cruising the Caribbean, the Mediterranean for decades, and they're getting bored, they want to go somewhere else. And Asia has the cruising ground for those yachts. This should be the third place for them to go, and it will become the first place eventually. But again, there's no infrastructure here for them, so the yachts aren't coming yet.
The new Asian yacht owners, they bought yachts.
But I already said they are.
But yes, but their yachts are not here. Their yachts are
in the
Mediterranean.
Yeah. So those are the two reasons we need. Well, two good reasons. The yachts are coming, not the Asian-owned yachts, and also for the European yachts. They will all come here if we can support them. And those yachts coming here, what will they bring to us? Money. That's the main thing. These yachts cost in the tens to hundreds of millions. Running the yachts, the fuel costs, the maintenance, crewing, etc. They spend from $1 million to $10 million a year to support one yacht, depending on the size and what the yacht's doing. And that's money that would all go into the local economy, or most of it. Even the crew salaries on the average super yacht is around $50,000 to $70,000 US each month. And the crew, they're mostly young, they mostly have they live on board the yachts, so they've got no living expenses, their food's provided, even their uniforms provided. So all that income, they spend it wherever they are. So all of that money will be going back into the local economy. So again, it's big money. And of course, it's the owners. If Bill Gates brings his yacht here, which he did last year, he's going to do business deals here, and that's what he came here for, to discuss, to do business, entertain his guests on his yacht. We need more yachts coming there, more of these big business people. So it's going to happen soon, but the sooner the better. What do we need to attract the yachts? There's three main things. First, of course, is marinas. There's a lot of marinas around Asia, but they're all for the much smaller yachts. They don't have the berth size. They don't have the berth size for the bigger yachts. They don't have the big power supply that's needed. They don't have the deep enough water for them. So we need to provide that for them. That's obviously big expenditure. That's where the developers come in as part of your new developments. Put in marinas, but not little marinas, properly thought out marinas for the big super yachts.
A super yacht will require length.
Okay, super yacht
Draft.
will require berths from at least 30 metres up to, now the biggest yacht is 150 metres. Depth of water at least 5 metres, preferably more, and the power supply is huge. These yachts are often running half a megawatt, so you need a big power supply for them. But once the berth's there, they'll pay. The berthing costs, the electricity, they pay high figures for those in Europe, so what it costs here, they'll be happy. And you've got that captive audience, you've got the 20, 30, 40 crew on the yacht, all of who will bring money into your development. And of course the owner and his guests will all be there. The other thing we need to attract the yachts is the support structure for them, the engineers, the electrical contractors, the supply infrastructure. Even down to these yachts, they go through flowers.
Slower.
In Monaco,
In Monaco,
the average bill for flowers for a week for a big yacht will be $5,000 US or more a month, but depending on what they're doing. So it's all money. There's a lot of support industry that's needed there, and that's where you people from within the industry, that's where we can make the money. We provide those services, the yachts will come, there's good money to be made.
in my calculation, in my calculation, if you were to invest in constructing a
That's a difficult one.
yeah. Just throw numbers.
Okay,
In my
in
calculation,
my calculation, if a marina is built, the money that can be generated from berthing, from electricity and services, water, power, will be, for each 30-metre berth, could generate up to $10,000 US a week. From the support infrastructure for the engineers, the flower providers, the food providers, the alcohol providers, and everybody,
slower.
there's another $20,000 to $30,000. And then from the crew spending their salaries, there's even more. And of course the owners again.
So this means
if
you invest,
you invest,
you could be expecting
you could be expecting very
a
little
payback period of
3 to 5 years
to your
between
investment.
your investment. So what we need to do, two main things. Oh, sorry. The other issue we have with the yachts coming to Asia at the moment is we need to make it easy for
We
them.
need to make it easy for.
We need to make it easy for them.
Uh-huh.
And this is where we need to go to the governments. The immigration laws, the customs laws, the tax laws for the yachts. It's all very grey in most countries in Asia, or it makes it very difficult if it's not grey. So the yachts don't come because they're not sure whether they're breaking the law or they have to break the law in some cases to come. So we need to go to the government to make the laws black and white. Just clear it so that the yacht knows that when he comes he has to pay this, he has to do this, and it's all possible and legal.
Let me bring to you an example of Malaysia.
Let me bring to you an example of Malaysia, which is one of the easiest countries in Asia to deal with because the laws here for yachting are relatively black and white. But for a yacht coming from Asia, from Europe, to charter, in other words, to rent the yacht out, in Malaysian waters is not possible unless they change the flag, the whole registration of the yacht to Malaysian. This is something the owners are not prepared to do. It's not a cheap thing to do because it means a lot of work, a lot of paperwork, and they're just not going to do that each time they change country. So we need to be able to allow the yachts to charter in our waters, then they'll come.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to go to the governments, we need to put together committees to go to the governments to petition to change the laws or to implement new laws that allow the yachts to know exactly what's to be done, what's allowed, what's not, and make it legal for them, for instance, to charter in Asia.
Last year there was a case in Langkawi
Last year there was a case in Langkawi
where a yacht owner
where a yacht owner,
was caught with firearms on board.
yes, there was a yacht owner caught with firearms on board. This again, it's a grey section of law, It's not clear what yachts can do with the firearms. The yacht brought firearms in. It had come across the Indian Ocean. They needed to have guns on board for security. They get to Malaysia. Malaysia has no way of declaring those guns, or what doesn't make it clear what you have to do with them. Depends which officer you talk to, because the laws are not clear. So he then, the guns were found on board. The captain was arrested. The yacht was arrested. The owner nearly lost his yacht. So and if they weren't trying to do anything, they weren't smuggling guns, it was just because they had unlicensed, undeclared guns on board. So it needs to be made clear to the captains. The laws need to be there so they know what to do.
In these cases are bad publicity.
Yes, cases like this are bad publicity, and this scares the yachts, the yacht owners, the captains from bringing the yachts to the region.
So this proves my point then.
Okay, this proves my point that we need to make the laws clear and make the governments take action. And explain to the governments how much money these yachts can bring into the region.
Mm-hmm.
So what I need you to do as developers, develop us marinas, put in the infrastructure that we can use to bring the yachts here. And within the industry, we need to put together...
In Malaysia, just give more example. In Malaysia, there are several marinas.
Okay, in Malaysia there are several marinas.
Such as one in PD.
Yeah, in Port Dickson and various other marinas around the coast that have been developed. They're for smaller yachts. And even there, the infrastructure that's been put in isn't what's needed. The marinas need to be built specifically for the big yachts. They need to have power supply, as I said earlier. So we need to work with the developers, and the government can also help fund these and provide the spaces for these developments to happen.
Please remember that the money is in doing business with the super yachts, not the small yachts.
Yes, that's right. Please remember, it's the big yachts that bring the money to the economy, not the small.
Not the smaller ones.
It's big time money.
The big time money, yeah. So please build.
Yes, build your marinas
for them.
For the big yachts, yes.
For the big yachts.
So yes, developers work on development, and the industry, let's start putting together committees. Let's go and petition the governments. Let's get these laws in place and changed, and let's get the big yachts coming here. Has anybody had any questions?
Yes, towards this, I would like to moot the idea. Towards this?
Okay, so towards this, I would like to mute the idea
that we form an association of
an association of the yachting industry of
Southeast Asia, and
I'd like to take anybody willing to help me and put this committee together and to start this. We'll start with a meeting next week. If you please give me your names, we'll and register for it. We'll start putting things together.
Therefore,
please sign up. Let's work on this. Let's get the super yachts coming here.
Thank you very much.
For your time.
Okay, good.